did you first become involved with Soul Center, and how did it all start for you?
This is like deep in the way back memory that I can't access. I really don't even remember how I started with the Soul Center. It could be that it was pure curiosity. I remember 9/11 happened in the United States, 2001, and in Trinity University, very soon after 9/11, they reached out to learn more about the faith of Islam, which I am. I'm Muslim. And some way I became into a speaking engagement, so to speak, in the churches and community centers and the universities, because we realized how little America knew about the faith of Islam. And so there was this tremendous curiosity and need to learn more. And so I talked at universities, including Trinity University, and it's very possible that through that connection, I became curious about the Soul Center and possibly just wandered in to ask questions. Probably met Lucy Burton at that time, and Lucy, just as everyone else in the United States, just wanted to know more about Islam. And that is probably my way into the Soul Center.
What have you just taken classes or taught classes? What is your roles with the Soul Center?
So initially, probably there was a lot of, basic Islam. I remember we did Islam 101, just did a nice name for that, very basic, the pillars of the faith. And it's teaching and educating the membership at the Soul Center, which a lot of them had already been traveling in the Middle East. So it was very nice to have that kind of exchange with people that had traveled and were telling their own stories about the Middle East, and then had the questions about the faith, and we could have really nice conversations. We did that quite a bit, and this had spread out. This is not only a Soul Center specific move. This is throughout the San Antonio city as well as the United States. And so at the same time then, connecting up with the University of the Incarnate Word and the dialogue that was happening, was not happening there yet. It started with a conference Incarnate Word held on the Arab world and Islam. And a couple of us Muslim women, we needed to be there. Who's talking about Islam at the Incarnate Word? And as we visited at that conference, we met some Christian women and a Jewish woman that were particularly interested in joining in our studies of our Quran, of our holy book. And this then went on a weekly study of our holy book and recognizing the similarities, sometimes even just the words were very similar between the Jewish and the Arabic languages. And so there was a lot of good energy and excitement. This little group then eventually bloomed into the Tri-Faith Dialogue of San Antonio. And as we continued that, then we invited others. It became sort of an open learning of the Holy Book. And then this later on developed into what became the Tri-Faith Dialogue of San Antonio, where all the scriptures inclusively would be studied, not just the Holy Quran. And Incarnate Word also out of that then hosted the signing of the Charter for Compassion. And I remember very well the Lucy Burton and the Soul Center being one of the first signatures under the Charter. Yeah, so.
Any memorable events, discussions, class, anything story that sticks out that you might want to share?
So besides those type of more like learning times that we had, I remember we also did book readings together. I was participant in book studies as well as hosting book studies. Then the interfaith dinners, they were particularly loved. We had about 3 or 4 of them in this location, the Soul Center, where, it was just a wonderful companionship, fellowship, where we realized that with food, a lot is possible. People love food and love companionship, and so they were very successful. I also liked the time where we had Arabic calligraphy write out the name tags of the members of the Soul Center. So we had like Susie in Arabic or Megan, and so that was a great hit and a lot of fun. I also then later on was part of the yoga practice at the gallery with Mary Mothra for quite a long time, regularly. So I was here every week for that. And the beginning of the gallery there, the hanging up of the pictures and the artwork actually, one of them particularly just, like anchored itself into my mind, and I had that picture in my mind for quite a long time, many years, until I made a friend who's an artist, and we started painting at my house. And out of that one picture that was at the gallery at the Soul Center, I made a whole series of that same theme, so to speak, and there at my house. So that's sort of like just a little thing that nobody knows about in the Soul Center, what that can bloom out into. And every time people come to visit my house, it's 6 paintings, and so it's a talk, and it's a great education also. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, this is for the 20th anniversary of the Soul Center. Any thoughts you have about the next 20 years? About what could be, what could happen? What inspiration could there be?
That's a hard question,
to
look out into the future. But I just know that the programs that are offered through the Soul Center are very significant for the individuals that can participate. And I wish that there might be more, but usually the topic doesn't lend itself to a lot of people. It's always very intimate and intensive in terms of learning and developing one's journey. And I think if that can continue, which is a lot of work, I know that, but that would be very valuable for the Soul Center. And I also know the Soul Center is part of the church, the Presbyterian Church here. And I always liked when we had those those events where we could be participating, the Soul Center and the church, sort of like it came together with a greater interfaith community. And I like those. They were very necessary and very enjoyable.